big story nationally heading into the game, of course, is the Cowboys traded their best player last week. He's a Packer now, Micah Parsons. But he almost was an Eagle. Listen to this. Adam Schefter this morning on Get Up talking about the other teams that were involved in the pursuit of Micah Parsons, including the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, it's certainly interesting because when the Dallas Cowboys were looking to trade Micah Parsons, one of the teams that showed the most interest in trading for Micah Parsons was the Philadelphia Eagles. They were fairly aggressive in trying to trade for Parsons. But the Dallas Cowboys obviously were not interested in trading Micah Parsons back to Pennsylvania, back in the division. They wanted him out of the division. I think there's been a lot of talk about why they sent him to Green Bay, why they sent him in conference. Well, at least they didn't send him in division. And the other thing that stands out that's interesting to me about this is people say all the time that, hey, you can't afford to make this move. There's not a lot of teams that have less cash, less cap space than the Philadelphia Eagles, and yet they were trying to figure out a way and would have figured out a way to get Micah Parsons under their cap if Dallas was willing to trade him to the Eagles, which they weren't, but the Eagles certainly made an effort.
All right, there's a lot to unpack here. Certainly made an effort to go get Micah Parsons.
Definitely a lot to unpack.
Okay, let's start with this. The number one takeaway is this is a big win for all of us that believe defense does matter and is not a luxury.
Yeah, y'all taking a victory lap.
Oh, this is a victory lap. The Eagles are willing to trade, obviously, a lot and then pay the guy. It's an L for Hugh Douglas. I mean, am I right on this? This is a clear L.
It's a big-time L for you. I mean,
I'll let y'all take this.
Okay. No, you're not letting. No.
Well, I kind of am.
It's a victory.
Because
there's no.
Okay, let's
clear win.
Okay,
Clear win.
so I'm about to pull the rug out from under y'all. Mm-hmm. Y'all talking about a whole lot of reckless speculation.
No, that's Adam Schefter.
Okay, no, Adam. Listen, Adam Schefter is a respected journalist, reporter.
Yeah,
he's like the number one NFL reporter.
Oh, no question about it. And Adam, I'm not taking a shot at you, but y'all taking a victory lap over something that didn't happen. I'll let y'all have it.
Yeah, you know what? He's lying. That's a good point, Hugh.
This is a filibuster.
I did not say he was lying. Right. Do not put words in my mouth. Kyle Anthony Quinn.
Let's go off.
Wrong.
Okay, let's go off. Let's go off.
Kyle Aloysius Quinn.
Nope, no way.
Let's go off of the idea that he is accurate in his information.
Still didn't happen.
Okay, that's fine. So that's clearly an L for Hugh Douglas. All right.
That is not an L for me.
It is. They were willing to trade probably 2 number ones because that's what it took.
You want me to give you an analogy like what this story is?
They were going to pay him. It took $47 million a year to sign him.
They didn't get him though.
But they were willing, which means they
that's
value
like
defense.
You know what? That's the same as me saying I slid in Joy Taylor DMs and she didn't go on a date with me, but I slid in the DMs. It's not a win.
You pursued Joy Taylor. Yeah. The Eagles pursued Micah Parsons.
Yeah,
but
great analogy.
But it didn't happen. No, it's not.
Okay, so
it's your fault.
Let's move off this because you obviously can't handle the loss. You took a big L. Now I have a question for you.
What you got?
I'm going to present you 2 things that it could have been, and you tell me which one is more likely. Okay? When I hear the Eagles tried to get Micah Parsons, I think of 2 things.
I know where you're going, and yeah.
Okay. One is that he's just too good of a player not to pursue if he's available, right? 26 years old, 52 and a half career sacks already. He's on the path to be a Hall of Famer one day if he continues this. Like he's too good not to try to go get if he's available. That's option number 1. Option number 2 is, Hugh, the Eagles are more concerned about their edge rushers than we think they are because they just tried to go get an upgrade at that position. Which one, if it's one of those 2, which one you think makes more sense?
Okay. Before I answer this question, does it have to be either or? Because the way you presented it, Joe, I think it's a mishmash of both.
Okay, and I think that's fair. If it was like 60-40, though, like which one you think is more of why they called?
Okay. I would say 60% because of the caliber of player that he is.
I agree with you.
40%, there might be some concern about the pass rush.
I think that's right.
Because it's the way you presented the question is very compelling. Like, Howie's always talking about making the roster better. So that's on brand for what he's tried to be over the years. And you would be foolish, even though it's in the division, to not make that phone call and see if you can get the deal done. I find it fascinating that Dallas entertained the conversation.
They at least answered the call.
You know what I mean?
They didn't hang up.
Like they picked up the phone. Like that to me is interesting. And at the end of the day, somebody told Pop, "Hey dog, you can't do this because we got to see that cat every 2 times a year. You can't do that." But it's something to be said to pick up the phone and be like, knowing that the Eagles probably they're the ones in a better position to give you what you want. So very, very interesting.
So the trade that went down, right? Parsons is a Packer now because the Packers traded Kenny Clark, a defensive tackle who is probably more known as a run stuffer or kind of an all-around defense tackle than a pass rusher. They traded Kenny Clark and 2 1s. Hugh, if we could spin it to the Eagles, would you have traded Jordan Davis and 2 1s? Because they wanted a defensive tackle, and they got one from the Packers. Would you have traded Jordan Davis and 2 1s if that was
the deal?
That's kind of what the Cowboys were looking for. That's what they got from the Packers. Why are you taking so long to say yes?
Well,
yes. Yes.
So long to say yes. I was thinking, but it weakens us at the D tackle spot.
Ah, okay.
And I think for us right now, that's a pretty good strength, especially when you talk about up the middle.
So you're saying no?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm workshopping it, and who am I putting in there? We got Ojomo, right? Mm-hmm. And who?
Well, Ty Robinson,
we got
the
the
rookie.
we got the white gorilla,
the vanilla gorilla. Would have to play more. Yeah.
Close enough.
You know what? The reason why I'm a little hesitant is because of this. Ty, I haven't heard Ty's name hasn't really he's not saying he's done bad, but you're paying me in the corner right now, and his name didn't pop enough in camp for me to feel comfortable moving on from Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the only reason why. Because if he was more of a talking piece during the training camp. Because I don't recall anybody really mentioning his name.
To be fair, they'd be thin at defensive tackle.
Yes, that's the only reason why. Because of the depth at that position.
I would have done it, but
I'm entertaining it. Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Of course you're entertaining. I mean, you have to. They'd be thin. They lost Milton in the offseason. Ojomo's going to play more this year. But, of course they'd be thin at that position, but they'd upgrade edge to an enormous amount.